Chapter 3504. The starry sky above the great illusionary Saint Capital was in a complete mess. It was too terrifying. The barbarian tribe had mobilized a large number of top experts and completely blocked the top experts of the Taishu dynasty. There were close to 20 top experts fighting in the starry sky. Boom, boom. The people below could only see the continuous explosions in the starry sky. The terrifying sound waves caused many people to turn pale and cough out blood. The starry sky continued to explode. All the meteorites in the area were swept away and turned into cosmic dust. One after another, violent cracks appeared, covering the entire starry sky like a spider web. It was unknown how many miles it stretched. Luckily, the great illusionary Saint Capital was protected by an ancient array. Otherwise, they would have been annihilated by the shock waves of such a terrifying battle. Countless people widened their eyes and looked at the starry sky. The shock in their eyes could not be concealed. This was the power of a divine lord above the ninth heaven. It was too terrifying and ordinary people could not match up to it. This was the top fighting force of the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian tribe. It's about time for me to strike. At this moment, a cold laugh sounded from the starry sky. Following which, a figure suddenly appeared not far above the great illusionary Saint Capital. It was an old man with dark skin and a shriveled body. He was like a skeleton and was wrapped in a large black robe. His hair was disheveled and his face was pale. Fog constantly emanated from his body. He held a pitch-black metal bell in his hand. He looked down coldly, mainly at Lu Ming and the rest. Ding. In the next moment he shook the metal bell in his hand and it rang. The sound of the bell was ear-piercing and visible sound waves spread out. Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming felt his soul tremble violently. It was as if he had been struck by lightning and his body shook violently. Lu Ming's face turned pale and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Soul attack. Lu Ming was shocked and quickly covered his soul with the frightening feather painting. The sound of the bell was not targeted at Lu Ming alone. It was an attack that covered a large area. Puff puff. At this moment, many people with weaker cultivations and weaker soul powers spat out mouthfuls of blood. Some even fell to the ground and stopped breathing. Their souls were destroyed and they died on the spot. It's a soul attack. Wu people, he's from the Wu people. Someone roared out, recognizing this shriveled black-robed elder. Many people were shocked. The Wu people were a long way from the Taishu dynasty. They were separated by at least a dozen universe-level powers. However, there was no doubt that the Wu people were extremely powerful, and their strength was unfathomable. They were far from being comparable to the Taishu dynasty, the Tianyi sacred dynasty, and the barbarian tribe. To put it bluntly, although the Taishu dynasty, the Tianyi sacred dynasty, and the barbarian tribe were also known as universe-level forces, they were only pseudo-universe-level forces. They were not real universe-level forces. A universe-level power had to have a true godly emperor to be considered a universe-level power. The Taishu dynasty, the Tianyi sacred dynasty, and the barbarian tribe only had quasi-emperors. They could only be considered as pseudo-universe-level powers. However, the Wu people were a true universe-level power. Why would the Wu people appear here to help the barbarian tribe? Why are you Wu people interfering in our battle? An elder from the Taishu dynasty shouted. We're not interfering. We're just returning a favor to the barbarian emperor. The elder from the Wu people said in a hoarse voice. Then, the iron bell in his hand rang again. Clang. The continuous sound waves covered the square below. On the square, more people's bodies trembled violently. Their faces were pale. Those with weak cultivations died directly. Only those with higher cultivations could barely withstand the sound waves. Lu Ming's body trembled violently. His face was pale. What a terrifying soul attack. A thought flashed across Lu Ming's mind. He had the Jingyu scroll, which could protect his soul. However, under this kind of attack, the Jingyu scroll could not completely protect him. The sound waves still penetrated his soul. This showed how terrifying the opponent was. Lu Ming was considered to be in a good condition. The other talents from the Taishu dynasty were on the verge of collapse. They spat out blood and looked terrible. However, the talents from the Tianyi sacred dynasty were not affected at all. Obviously, the opponent was only targeting the Taishu dynasty, not the Tianyi sacred dynasty. All of you back off. Tianyi's sacred emperor's voice rang in the ears of Qiu Qingtian and the others. The talents from the Tianyi sacred dynasty hurriedly retreated to the side of Tianyi's sacred emperor and the others. Ah, old man, this time you've gathered all the talents from the Taishu dynasty. Then I'll kill all the talents from the Taishu dynasty. I'll end your era. How can you compete with the barbarian tribe in the future? The barbarian emperor's unbridled laughter rang out in the starry sky. Clang. The black iron bell rang again. This time, it seemed to be targeting Lu Ming and the other talents. Its power gathered and was undoubtedly stronger. Lu Ming's face was pale. The other talents were even worse. Some of them collapsed on the ground and screamed, "Damn it! Don't even think about it. I'll kill you!" Roars rang out one after another. In the square, figures shot up into the sky and charged toward the old man from the Wu people. These were all experts. There were heavenly kings from the Heavenly King Mansion and top experts from the royal family. They were all 7th or even 8th level divine lords. A total of 8 people charged toward the old man from the Wu people. The space exploded, and the scene was extremely shocking. There was a terrifying whistling sound. However, the old man from the Wu people's expression did not change. He even showed a hint of contempt. He waved his hand, and 8 puppets appeared in the sky. These puppets held all kinds of weapons in their hands. They rushed toward the experts from the Taishu dynasty and slashed down with their weapons. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions rang out. The 8 experts from the Taishu dynasty were all blocked. No matter how they attacked, they could not get close to the old man from the Wu people. Many people's expressions were ugly. It was said that the Wu people's methods were strange and unpredictable. It was true that they could block 8 top experts with just a few puppets. Of course, this was also related to the old man's own strength. This old man from the Wu people was definitely a 9th level divine lord or even a quasi-emperor. The experts from the Taishu dynasty kept attacking, but they could not break through the defense for a while. Tianyi, are you just going to sit there and watch the show? Let's attack together and kill these barbarians. I will reward you greatly. The great Void Saint Emperor's voice rang out. He wanted to invite the people from the Tianyi sacred dynasty to attack together. However, the Tianyi sacred emperor smiled faintly and said, "Brother Jing, this is between you and the barbarians. The Tianyi sacred dynasty will not interfere." The great Void Saint Emperor was furious. Did he not know what the Tianyi sacred emperor was thinking? The Tianyi sacred dynasty wanted both sides to suffer. This was the most beneficial for the Tianyi sacred dynasty. Why should he interfere? The Taishu dynasty and the barbarians fought to the death. This was what the Tianyi sacred emperor wanted to see the most. Chapter 3505. Clang. The old man of the Wu people continued to attack. The iron bell rang, shaking the soul. Ah! Finally, there were some young heaven's favorites who couldn't hold on any longer. They let out shrill cries and their faces turned ferocious. In the end, their souls exploded and they died. Even the geniuses of the 9 general stars were struggling to hold on. Geniuses at the level of the 9 general stars would more or less have some means of soul defense or treasures that could block soul attacks. However, the opponent's soul power was too strong. It was said that the Wu people specialized in soul attacks. For example, the Jiuyo Heavenly Palace of the Taishu dynasty could also attack souls, but compared to the Wu people, it was child's play. If this continued, they wouldn't be able to hold on any longer. They would all die. Buzz. At this moment, a layer of light spread out from the spectator stands and enveloped Lu Ming and the others. All of a sudden, Lu Ming felt that the sound wave attack outside was blocked. It was completely blocked. The pressure on him lessened and he heaved a sigh of relief. The other geniuses were the same. Lan Shu. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Blue Merchant had made a move. At this moment, Blue Merchant was floating above Lu Ming and the others. A layer of light spread out from between his eyebrows and blocked all the sound wave attacks. Blue Merchant's soul was abnormally strong. He had broken through to the Divine Lord realm with pure soul power. His soul power was so strong that even a quasi-emperor couldn't compare to it. After all, the others mainly focused on cultivating their star cores and divine power, not their souls. It was just that as their cultivation increased, their soul power would also increase accordingly. The old man of the Wu people frowned and seemed a little surprised. Then, the black mist around his body thickened, and the iron bell rang nonstop. The sound waves rushed down like a tide, but they were all blocked by Blue Merchant. What a strong soul! How can you have such a strong soul? The old man of the Wu people shouted in shock. He realized that Blue Merchant's soul was far stronger than his. He was from the Wu people and was born with a strong soul. Moreover, he had a soul cultivation technique that made his soul several times stronger than other cultivators of the same level. However, his soul power alone couldn't be as strong as Blue Merchant's. Blue Merchant didn't say a word. He used his soul power to protect Lu Ming and the others. Damn it, let's see how you block me. The old man of the Wu people shouted angrily. The iron bell in his hand kept growing until it was 100 meters tall. The center of the old shaman's brows also shone with a dazzling light that fused with the bell. Clang! Deafening bell chimes rang out one after another. Sound waves continued to surge downwards like a torrential river, flowing endlessly. The old man of the Wu people pushed his soul power to the extreme, wanting to destroy Blue Merchant's soul, but it was useless. Blue Merchant's forehead emitted a dazzling light that completely blocked the soul attack. Lan Shang's current soul force was already equivalent to second-level Divine Lord Realm. This was pure soul force and did not have any divine power at all. Damn it, this person must have obtained some kind of soul treasure and had a heaven-defying encounter. Otherwise, his soul power wouldn't be so strong. Even the Wu people don't have that much soul power. The old man of the Wu people shouted in his heart. Greed flashed in his eyes. In the next moment, the bell stopped ringing. He didn't use the bell anymore. Instead, he wanted to use his divine power to kill Blue Merchant. But then, a shocking sword light slashed toward the old man of the Wu people. It was Holy Old Heavenly King. Holy Old Heavenly King slashed at the old man of the Wu people as he fought with a barbarian race expert. The old man of the Wu people was shocked. He quickly waved his hand, and a huge wooden puppet appeared. It held a battle sword and slashed out, clashing with Holy Old Heavenly King's sword light. With a loud explosion, the huge wooden puppet retreated, but it also blocked Holy Old Heavenly King's sword light. Haha, Barbarian Emperor, it seems like your plan to kill the prodigy of the Taishu dynasty is going to fail. The Great Void Sacred Emperor's laughter came from the depths of space. I didn't expect the Taishu dynasty to have someone with such strong soul power. This is beyond my expectations. The Barbarian Emperor replied coldly. It's beyond your expectations. Today, all of you will stay here. The Great Void Sacred Emperor's voice was filled with killing intent. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, in the depths of the Great Void Sacred Capital, a few terrifying auras spread out. When these auras burst out, heaven and earth trembled. The entire Great Void Sacred Capital shook. So strong. Many people turned their gazes to the depths of the Imperial Palace, revealing looks of shock. These auras were too terrifying. They were not weaker than the Jun Wang, the Sixth Wangye, and the others. They were all top experts. There are indeed some old monsters in seclusion in the depths of the Taishu dynasty. The Tianyi Sacred Emperor whispered, but he was not too surprised. Any force would have some foundation. Their strength could not be what it looked like on the surface. The auras that appeared now were the foundation of the Taishu dynasty. They were some terrifying old monsters, but they were usually in seclusion. Whether it was the Tianyi Sacred Emperor or the barbarian tribe, they all had such a foundation. They would not make a move usually. They would only make a move at critical moments. Obviously, the Taishu dynasty had summoned these foundations. A few figures appeared from the depths of the palace. In the next moment, they came close and killed their way into the depths of space, killing those barbarian tribe elites. The Great Void Sacred Emperor was determined to kill the barbarian tribe elites. He was furious. He was extremely furious. The destruction of the soul-cultivating flower had driven him crazy. He had to make the barbarian tribe stay so that he could vent the hatred in his heart. It's time to leave. At this moment, the barbarian emperor's voice sounded. You want to leave? Dream on. The great void sacred emperor shouted and launched a storm of attacks at the barbarian emperor. Even one of the foundations of the Taishu dynasty rushed over to help the great void sacred emperor kill the barbarian emperor. But at this moment, the barbarian emperor's body emitted a dazzling light. At the same time, the space around his body was filled with ripples. The great void sacred emperor roared and punched the barbarian emperor. With a violent boom, the barbarian emperor's body disappeared in an instant. In its place was a scarecrow, which was shattered by the great void sacred emperor's fist. At the same time, the other barbarians, including the old man of the Wu people, emitted a dazzling light. In the next moment, they all turned into scarecrows. As for their true bodies, they had disappeared without a trace. All the barbarians, including the old man of the Wu people, disappeared in an instant. Only the scarecrows were left. Substitution technique. The great void sacred emperor roared. His face was extremely ferocious. Obviously, this was the work of the old man of the Wu people. They had long been prepared to use the substitution technique at the critical moment to teleport the barbarian emperor and the others away. The substitution technique was a strange technique of the Wu people. As long as it was set up in advance, it could teleport people away at the critical moment. It was really mysterious. Chapter 3506. Although the barbarian emperor and the others had teleportation arrays on their bodies, they needed time to activate them. In such a big battle, there was no chance to activate the teleportation arrays. As for the substitution technique, as long as it was set up in advance, they could be teleported away in an instant. This was how terrifying the Wu people were. The Wu people were a race that could be listed in the list of 10,000 primitive races. They were extremely powerful and were not something the barbarian race could compare to. Damn the Wu people! Taishu Saint Emperor roared. Of course, he only roared. He did not dare to cause trouble for the Wu people. Although he was already a boundary emperor, if he encountered a real divine emperor, he would probably be slapped to death. There was no doubt that he would not be able to escape. The scene quieted down. The crown prince and the state preceptor sneered. There were many accidents today. Because of Lu Ming, the Taishu dynasty had defeated the Tianyi sacred dynasty and obtained the soul-nourishing flower. However, because of the barbarian emperor's appearance, the soul-nourishing flower was destroyed. At least the Taishu Saint Emperor could not obtain the soul-nourishing flower and achieved their goal. Lu Ming. The crown prince and the state preceptor's eyes flashed coldly. As for Lu Ming, they could get rid of him later. Brother Jing, the competition is over. We will take our leave. Tianyi Saint Emperor stood up and cupped his fists. Go ahead. Forgive me for not seeing you off. Taishu Saint Emperor said coldly. He was unhappy that Tianyi Saint Emperor did not help him just now. Of course, he would not make Tianyi Saint Emperor stay. If Tianyi Saint Emperor could come here, he must be prepared. There were probably many top experts in the Tianyi sacred dynasty. Moreover, if he attacked Tianyi Saint Emperor and the others, it would only benefit the barbarian race. If the barbarian race and the Tianyi sacred dynasty joined forces, the Taishu dynasty would be in danger. Therefore, although he was angry, he would not attack Tianyi Saint Emperor and the others. Let's go! Tianyi Saint Emperor could not be bothered with the Taishu Saint Emperor. He shouted and left with his people. For a moment, only the people of the Taishu dynasty were left in the square. At this moment, no one made a sound. The scene fell into silence. Everyone knew that the Taishu Saint Emperor was definitely in a rage right now. He was like a bomb that would explode at the slightest touch. Whoever offended the Taishu Saint Emperor would probably end up in a miserable state. Just like that, the entire place fell into silence. The Taishu Saint Emperor stood high up in the sky, his body emanating a tyrannical aura. He seemed to be adjusting himself. Just like that, after a long while, the Taishu Saint Emperor finally retracted his violent aura. He floated down and landed on the square. Greetings, Saint Emperor. Everyone bowed. Forget it. The Taishu Saint Emperor waved his hand. and then his gaze descended onto Blue Merchant. His eyes glowed brightly as if he wanted to see through Blue Merchant. After a short while, a strange smile appeared on the corners of the Taishu Saint Emperor's mouth as he said, "Blue Merchant, you really are a peerless genius. You were actually able to take another path and cultivate your soul to the divine monarch realm after your stellar core was destroyed. Not bad." Blue Merchant cupped his fists and said, "You flatter me, Saint Emperor. I was just lucky to break through." Sometimes, luck is also a part of talent. The Saint Emperor smiled, and then his gaze fell on Lu Ming. He said, "Lu Ming, your talent has exceeded my expectations. You can be said to be the strongest in the history of the Taishu dynasty. You have even surpassed you. Also, this time, you have helped the Sacred Dynasty defeat the Tianyi Sacred Dynasty. I will definitely fulfill the conditions that I have promised you. I will definitely send people to search for your parents." "Thank you, Saint Emperor." Lu Ming was overjoyed. With the help of the Saint Emperor, it would be much easier to find his parents. "All right, all of you can leave." The Taishu Saint Emperor waved his hand, seemingly tired. He took a step forward and disappeared into the depths of the palace. The rest of the people also left. Lu Ming looked at Di Jinni. He really had an impulse to kill Di Jinni. However, when he saw Di Jinni standing beside the Crown Prince and the Imperial Advisor, he knew that he could not do it. After that, Lu Ming, Blue Merchant, and the rest left and returned to the hidden Dragon Duke's mansion. The news of the battle spread like wildfire. It spread throughout the Taishu Saint capital, and then the entire Taishu dynasty. Lu Ming's fame was pushed to the peak. He also gained a lot of titles. He was the strongest genius in the history of the Taishu dynasty. He was also the leader of the 9 great generals. He was the youngest marquis in history and so on. In short, everyone knew who Lu Ming was all of a sudden. Many people even thought that if Lu Ming did not die, he would definitely break through the bottleneck of the Divine Emperor realm in the future and become the first person in the history of the Taishu dynasty to reach the Divine Emperor realm. Yes, in the history of the Taishu dynasty, no one had really reached the Divine Emperor realm, including the one who founded the Taishu dynasty. The Taishu dynasty had gone through 6 generations of Saint Emperors, and no one had broken through the bottleneck. Back then, Jing Yu was thought to be the most likely, but unfortunately he had died. Now, Lu Ming was also thought to be the same. However, no matter how big the commotion outside was, Lu Ming stayed in the hidden Dragon Duke's mansion to cultivate. He did not return to the heavenly chaos starfield. He stayed in the Taishu Saint capital to wait for news of his parents. This wait lasted for a year. After a year, the Taishu Saint Emperor sent someone to see Lu Ming. There was news of his parents. "The Saint Emperor has investigated. Your parents might have been taken away and locked in a remote galaxy in the Dark Pine starfield. Here is the map." An elder handed a map to Lu Ming and then left. The Taishu Saint Emperor was only helping him investigate. As for the rescue, he still had to rely on himself. Dark Pine starfield. Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. He immediately called for Yuan Tsong and a few other 6th-level divine monarchs from the Dark Ape fighting race to save his parents. "Lu Ming, I will go with you. If we encounter any array or soul attacks, I can help," Blue Merchant said as he walked over. "All right." Lu Ming nodded after pondering for a while. Indeed, Blue Merchant was strong in soul attacks and arrays. Yuan Tsong and the others could not replace him. "Lu Ming, this incident is very strange. I have a bad feeling about it. So, we should go back to the Hidden Dragon Star and bring Yuan Huan with us, just in case," Blue Merchant said. Yuan Huan was already an 8th Heaven Divine King and had cultivated the primitive divine body. He was strong and it would be safer to bring him along. "All right." Lu Ming nodded. They immediately left the Taishu Saint capital and returned to the Hidden Dragon Star. Then, they brought Yuan Huan and a few other Dark Ape fighting tribe experts to the Dark Pine starfield. Taishu Saint capital, deep in the palace, in a hall. The Taishu Saint Emperor was at the top of the hall. Below him, a few figures stood respectfully. "Has Lu Ming and the rest left?" The Taishu Saint Emperor's voice was cold. Chapter 3507. Your Majesty, They have already set off not long ago. A black-robed old man said respectfully. Lan Shang, do you want to join us? The great Void Sage Emperor asked with anticipation. As you expected, Blue Merchant and Lu Ming have set off together. The black-robed old man replied. Good, good, good. The great Void Sage Emperor said, good, 3 times. His eyes shone brightly and he seemed to be extremely excited. This Blue Merchant's soul power suddenly erupted and reached the Divine Lord realm. He must have obtained some soul-type treasure. If I can obtain such a treasure, I might be able to rejuvenate my soul and extend my lifespan. The great Void Sage Emperor muttered. His eyes were filled with greed. Previously, when Blue Merchant showed his terrifying soul power, the great Void Sage Emperor had his suspicions. He suspected that Blue Merchant must have obtained some powerful soul-type treasure. This was the treasure he needed the most. Whether it was useful or not, he had to obtain it. The Dark Pine Star region was very far away from the great Void Sage Emperor. It was a remote star region of the Taishu dynasty, just like the Qintian star region. Lu Ming and the rest went through a wormhole and arrived not far from the Dark Pine Star region. Then, they rushed towards a destination according to the map. With their current speed, they were too fast. They left planets behind them one by one. Before long, a huge planet appeared in front of them. This was a desolate planet. It was a dead planet. There were no living beings around it. There were no other planets or stars. It was filled with silence and desolation. It was also dark. This was very remote. If not for the map, they wouldn't have been able to find it. The map showed that Lu Ming's parents were on this planet. Let's go, Lu Ming muttered. Then, they retracted their auras and flew towards the planet. Soon, they landed on the planet. It was dark and desolate. There were no living beings. They followed a direction and slowly searched. Not long after, fog appeared in front of them. It was extremely dense. Be careful. I feel that something is wrong, Blue Merchant cautioned. His soul power was strong and his senses were sharp. Shoo shoo. As soon as Lan Shang finished his words, there was a terrifying air-rending sound in the surroundings. The void exploded and a few sword gleams pierced toward Lu Ming and the rest. Their speed was shockingly fast. Terrifying, incomparably terrifying. Lu Ming felt that he would not be able to withstand even one of these sword lights. He would be killed in one strike. Be careful. Yuan Huan and the rest were very fast, surrounding Lu Ming and Blue Merchant in the middle. Following that, several 6th-level Divine Lord Realm Dark Ape Fighting Race members punched out. Boom! The void was pierced as the fist of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members collided with the sword light. A terrifying explosion was heard, but the sword light was not destroyed. It was only deflected. The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members were also pushed back. 6th-level Divine Lord Lu Ming, Blue Merchant, and the others were shocked. Clearly, the other party was also a 6th-level Divine Lord since he could repel the 6th-level Divine Lord Realm Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members. Who was it that kidnapped his parents and actually sent out a 6th-level Divine Lord to protect them? Moreover, there were several of them. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The sword lights retreated and charged towards them again. The 6th-level Divine Lord Realm experts were about to charge forward again. Don't make a move. Protect the Mansion Lord and the rest. Yuan Song shouted as he rushed out. As though he had sensed a trace of danger, he ordered the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members to retreat. Boom, boom, boom. The strength of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members was at the 7th-level Divine Lord Realm. How powerful was he? As he punched out continuously, his fist force broke through the void and could kill 6th-level Divine Lords. But at this moment, one of the sword lights suddenly exploded, emitting a terrifying fluctuation that far exceeded the 6th-level Divine Lord realm. It clashed with Yuan Song's fist continuously. A few terrifying explosions rang out, and a violent force swept out. A huge explosion occurred on the planet beneath their feet. In an instant, magma soared into the sky and the entire planet exploded. But the lava fragments formed by the explosion were all turned into ashes under the energy of Yuan Song and that sword light's collision, turning into cosmic dust. Following that, Yuan Tsung's figure swayed and he retreated 3 steps in a row. And the sword light that he got also drifted back. 7th level Divine Lord Realm. Lu Ming and the rest sucked in a cold breath. The other party actually had a 7th level Divine Lord Realm expert. Fortunately, Yuan Tsung sensed danger just now and personally took action. Otherwise, those 6th level Divine Lord Realm Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members would be in danger. At least one of them would be killed. The planet exploded. Lu Ming and the rest stood in the cosmic void. Swoosh, swoosh. With a flash, many figures in black robes appeared around Lu Ming and the rest. There were a total of 12 of them and they surrounded them. Who are you guys? Why did you kidnap my parents? Lu Ming shouted. Kidnap your parents? We don't know where your parents are at all. One of the black-robed men sneered. What? Lu Ming was shocked. If the other party didn't know where his parents were, then why did the Taishu Saint Emperor say that? Could it be that the Taishu Saint Emperor was lying to him? Lu Ming, it seems like we've fallen into a trap. This is an ambush. Blue Merchant's face turned ugly. That's right. You've fallen into a trap. This is indeed an ambush. Don't think of leaving today. A cold voice sounded. Ripples appeared in the void and another black-robed man appeared. This black-robed man's aura was even more terrifying. 8th level Divine Lord Realm. Yuan Huan said with a grave expression. The other party actually sent out an 8th level Divine Lord Realm expert. Taishu Saint Emperor. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly. Needless to say, these people were sent by the Taishu Saint Emperor. To be honest, there weren't many people in the Taishu dynasty who could send out such a lineup. But why did the Taishu Saint Emperor send people to ambush them? Why did he want to kill them? Thoughts spun in Lu Ming's mind. Lu Ming, it seems like we've really underestimated you. I didn't expect that you even have an 8th level Divine Lord Realm existence by your side. That 8th level Divine Lord Black-robed man looked at Yuan Huan. This was really somewhat unexpected. Originally, they thought that the strongest person by Lu Ming's side should only be the 7th level Divine Lord Yuan Huan. Because when Lu Ming submitted his merits at the Grand Council, the rest Shadow Stone showed the scene of Yuan Huan taking action. 7th level Divine Lord Realm Cultivation. But it didn't show Yuan Huan. They didn't expect that there was actually an 8th level Divine Lord existence by Lu Ming's side. Yuan Huan, you protect Battle Ancestor well. Leave these people to me. Yuan Huan stepped forward. A powerful aura spread out, making the entire starry sky tremble. The faces of those 6th level Divine Lord and even 7th level Divine Lord black-robed men changed drastically and involuntarily retreated repeatedly. Suddenly, Yuan Huan suddenly attacked. An iron rod appeared in his hand. The iron rod swept out, incomparably huge, enveloping all the black-robed men. Chapter 3508. Yuan Huan suddenly attacked, his aura shocking. The iron staff was as large as a planet, sweeping across the starry sky. 8th level Divine Lord, the moment he attacked, he displayed terrifying power. However, the other party was clearly long prepared. The instant Yuan Huan attacked, that 8th level Divine Lord Black-robed man also attacked. A resplendent sword light illuminated the pitch-black universe. No idea how long it was, it slashed toward Yuan Huan. With a clank, the sword light collided with the iron staff, erupting with an earth-shaking rumble. One blast of force after another burst out, rushing into the depths of the starry sky, leaving behind one imprint after another that was who knows how many miles long. Yuan Huan and the black-robed man retreated at the same time. You all go and carry out the mission. Leave this person to me. The 8th level Divine Lord Black-robed man said to the other black-robed men. Yes. Those black-robed men received the order. Their figures flickered, rushing toward Lu Ming they all. And the 8th level Divine Lord Black-robed man attacked again. Sword light shocking the heavens, killing toward Yuan Huan. Yuan Huan wanted to rescue Lu Ming they all, but the other party was too strong. He could only do his best to resist. The two instantly exchanged more than a dozen moves, while the other black-robed men rushed toward Lu Ming they all. Courting death. Yuan Huan roared, his iron fists blasting out continuously. The starry sky exploded. One terrifying fist force after another pierced through the starry sky, sweeping across the starry sky, killing toward those black-robed men. But two dazzling sword lights burst forth, the power not the slightest bit weaker than Yuan Huan. The other party actually had two 7th-level Divine Lord powerhouses. Bang! Bang! Two 7th-level Divine Lord powerhouses joining hands, their strength was too strong, instantly suppressing Yuan Huan, making him retreat repeatedly. Kill! Following that, the other black-robed men rushed toward Lu Ming. They all retreat. Lu Ming. They all retreated hastily, but the other party pursued closely, their speed astonishing. One sword light after another enveloped toward Lu Ming. They all kill. Protect War Ancestor. The remaining Dark Ape fighting race members shouted, raising their combat power to the extreme. While protecting Lu Ming and Blue Merchant, they also fought with these black-robed men. These people's cultivations were too high. Lu Ming and Blue Merchant were no match for them. For a time, a chaotic battle broke out in this area, and it was a complete mess. However, Lu Ming and the others were no match for them. After all, they had fewer people and were suppressed. Apart from Yuan Huan and Yuan Song, Lu Ming had brought a total of 6 6th-level Divine Lords from the Dark Ape fighting race. However, the other party had a total of 11 people. If it weren't for the fact that the Dark Ape Battle Tribe had cultivated the Ghost Battle art, they would have been defeated long ago. Even so, they were still no match for them. They could only form a circle around Lu Ming and Blue Merchant to protect them. They only had the power to defend and had no power to counterattack. After all, those black-robed men possessed extremely powerful battle prowess. They were no ordinary people. Far away, Yuan Huan and that 8th-level Divine Lord Existence's great battle became even more intense. From the looks of it, you should have just broken through to the 8th-level Divine Lord realm not long ago. You're no match for me. Hunting Sword Ko. The 8th-level Divine Lord black-robed man roared. His sword light was endless. Every sword was a killing move, and its power was getting stronger and stronger. For a time, Yuan Huan was actually forced to retreat. Die! The 8th-level Divine Lord black-robed man shouted coldly. Who can you kill? Yuan Huan shouted. He used the Ghost Battle art to the extreme and raised his battle prowess to the extreme. Following that, his body swelled rapidly and turned into a giant ape. This was the primordial divine body. Yuan Huan's cultivation was extremely high. Moreover, he was able to cultivate to the peak of the 7th-level Divine Lord realm. His talent was extremely shocking. Therefore, during this period of time, Yuan Huan had already cultivated the primordial divine body to the 4th transformation. Yuan Huan roared. The iron rod swept across the sky and swept out. Clang! The iron rod collided with the other party's longsword once again. This time, the sword light shook violently and the black-robed man was forced to retreat. Primordial divine body! The other party shouted in shock. At this moment, Yuan Song and the other Dark Ape fighting tribe members all displayed the primordial divine body. Among them, Yuan Song's primordial divine body was also cultivated to the 4th transformation. The other Dark Ape fighting tribe members were weaker and were only at the 3rd transformation. Even so, their battle prowess had increased by a notch. Yuan Song was fighting 1 against 2. At first, he was completely at a disadvantage. However, at this moment, he had turned the tables and temporarily stabilized the situation. The 6th-level Divine Lord Dark Ape fighting tribe members also temporarily blocked the other party's attack. Damn it! All of you have the primordial divine body. How could all of you have cultivated the primordial divine body? The black-robed man roared in disbelief. The primordial divine body was a powerful physique secret technique. The cultivation conditions were extremely harsh. It wasn't something that could be cultivated just because one wanted to. Firstly, one needed the cultivation method of the primordial divine body. This was already very rare and precious. Moreover, even if one had the cultivation method of the primordial divine body, the cultivation conditions were also very harsh. It was understandable that 1 or 2 geniuses could cultivate it. But why were all the Dark Ape fighting tribe members able to cultivate it? Kill! Yuan Huan couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with the black-robed man. He launched a violent attack. The black-robed man kept swinging his iron rod at the black-robed man. In an instant, the black-robed man was suppressed and was forced to retreat. Hold on. Wait for me to kill this man. I'll come and save you. Yuan Huan shouted and transmitted his voice to Yuan Song and the others. As long as he defeated the black-robed man, the situation would be completely reversed. Don't worry. Yuan Song and the others replied. Lu Ming had been observing the black-robed man's attacks. Something's not right. The black-robed man's target seems to be Lan Shu. He has been staring at Lan Shu. His murderous intent has also shrouded Lan Shu. More attacks are also directed at Lan Shu. Lu Ming's mind raced. He was very surprised. He had thought that the black-robed man's target was him. Unexpectedly, that wasn't the case. This was because the black-robed man's murderous intent didn't land on him at all. Instead, it landed on Blue Merchant. He was just collateral damage. Clearly, Blue Merchant had also noticed this point. His eyes flickered and he was also surprised. Yuan Song and the 6th level Divine Lords from the Dark Ape Combat Tribe blocked the black-robed man's attacks. Meanwhile, Yuan Huan's attacks were getting stronger and stronger. Damn it! The 8th level Divine Lord roared. He knew that they had miscalculated this time. He didn't expect that there would be an 8th level Divine Lord by Lu Ming's side. Moreover, they had cultivated the primordial divine body. Originally, with their strength, killing Lu Ming, Yuan Song, and the others would be easy. However, they didn't expect Yuan Huan to be here. At this moment, Yuan Huan's battle strength was extremely violent. He had already suppressed him. After a long battle, he would definitely lose. Clang. Right at this moment, the sound of a sword suddenly rang out in the distant starry sky. A dazzling sword light was like a celestial flying from outer space. It crossed the vast starry sky and slashed toward Yuan Huan. Yuan Huan's expression changed drastically because this sword light could already pose a fatal threat to him. At the crucial moment, the iron staff in his hand changed. It swept away several staff shadows and blasted toward the sword light. Clang. Several deafening explosions rang out. Yuan Huan's staff shadows disappeared. His figure swayed slightly and he retreated a few steps. Chapter 3509. A terrifying sword light forced Yuan Huan back. Following that, the void flashed and another black-robed man appeared. This black-robed man's speed was astonishing. In a flash, he appeared not far away from Yuan Huan. 8th level Divine Lord. Yuan Huan's expression was incomparably solemn. I really didn't expect them to have such a powerful existence. Fortunately, the Lord was considerate and let us follow you secretly just in case. Otherwise, you'll be doomed today. The black-robed man who appeared behind said coldly. The black-robed man from before said, Me. A cold voice came from the starry sky not far away. Following that, another figure appeared. Another extremely terrifying expert. Yuan Huan's heart sank and his expression became ugly. In the next moment, Yuan Huan turned around and rushed towards Lu Ming's side. Go! Yuan Huan growled. His violent aura rushed towards the black-robed men who were surrounding Yuan Huan and Lu Ming. Yuan Huan's strength was so strong that his aura was like a wave. Those black-robed men were instantly scattered and retreated in all directions. The encirclement of Lu Ming's group also dispersed. Go quickly! Yuan Huan roared anxiously. Because the two black-robed men who appeared behind him were too powerful. They were both 8th level Divine Lords. Yuan Huan was still confident in dealing with one such person. But two he would lose without a doubt. If there were three, it would definitely be a dead end. Lu Ming, Blue Merchant, and the rest also knew the seriousness of the matter and flew back one after another. Want to leave? Today, none of you can think about leaving. The two black-robed men who appeared behind him said coldly. Their figures flashed like black phantoms, sweeping across the universe's starry sky and rushing towards Lu Ming's group. Their speed was shockingly fast. Before they arrived, a terrifying sword light had already slashed towards Lu Ming's group. The sword light was shocking, spanning a boundless distance and was incomparably huge. It completely enveloped Lu Ming's group. No matter how they dodged, they were enveloped by the sword light. "You guys go first. I'll hold them back," Yuan Huan roared. He turned around and waved his iron staff, sweeping away thousands of soldiers as he attacked the two sword lights. Two loud explosions rang out, and Yuan Huan's body shook violently as he retreated. At this moment, a resplendent sword light pierced towards Yuan Huan. It was that 8th-level Divine Lord black-robed person who exchanged blows with Yuan Huan previously. This sword was too fast. And Yuan Huan had just been repelled at this time and found it hard to dodge. Yuan Huan roared and barely managed to move back a distance. However, he still couldn't completely dodge the attack. Puchi! The sword light pierced through Yuan Huan's abdomen and blood flowed out. "You want to block it? Let's see how you're going to block it alone." One of the black-robed men sneered. His sword light surged once again as he charged towards Yuan Huan. While the remaining 7th-level Divine Lord and 6th-level Divine Lord black-robed people continued rushing towards Lu Ming, they all. Boom! Boom! After a few more moves, Yuan Huan was forced back again and again. Another sword wound appeared on his body, penetrating his bones. The situation was perilous. Once Yuan Huan was defeated, Lu Ming and the others would definitely die. "Ha! Die for me! Kill them! Remember, capture that guy alive first. Search his body for treasures that are useful to Lord before killing him." Some of the black-robed people laughed loudly and charged towards Lu Ming and the others. Boom! Right at this moment, the void exploded. A saber light slashed out, slashing directly onto one of the black-robed people. This black-robed person had 6th-level Divine Lord cultivation, but he couldn't resist at all. He was directly split into two by the saber light, dying on the spot. "Who's there?" Several black-robed people roared in shock as they retreated. The void filled up. After that, one figure after another appeared. There was a total of 7 people. These 7 people were wrapped in blood-red robes from head to toe. Their faces couldn't be seen at all. After these red-robed people appeared, they charged towards the black-robed people. Moreover, their strength was very shocking. The person in the lead had a terrifying aura. He was an 8th-level Divine Lord expert. He charged towards Yuan Huan and slashed down with his saber, charging towards one of the black-robed people. As for the other red-robed people, they also charged towards the black-robed people and the battle became a mess. What's going on? Lu Ming, Blue Merchant, and the others were a little confused. Who sent these red-robed people? They actually came to help them. So many experts. In the entire Taishu dynasty, there weren't many forces that could send out so many experts, right? Moreover, how did they know that Lu Ming and the others would be ambushed here? Lu Ming's mind spun rapidly, but he couldn't think of a reason. However, they naturally wouldn't miss such a good opportunity. The Dark Ape fighting race fought back and finally blocked the black-robed people. However, they were still at a disadvantage in the peak battlefield. Although there was an additional red-robed person joining forces with Yuan Huan, they were still only 2 people. The other party had 3 people. Yuan Huan and the red-robed person were at a disadvantage. "Who are you people? How dare you spoil our plans? You're courting death," a black-robed person shouted, his voice cold. However, the red-robed person didn't say a word and attacked with all his might. Universe Ring. Suddenly, a cold voice came from above the starry sky. Then, golden light shone brightly. A golden collar suddenly flew out and smashed toward an 8th-level Divine Lord black-robed person. Rumble. The starry sky kept exploding. That golden collar's power was terrifying to the extreme, piercing through the universe's starry sky. Not good. The 3 black-robed people's faces changed drastically. Their voices trembled, revealing a look of horror. Then they retreated frantically. However, it was already too late. One of the black-robed people was shrouded by the golden collar. No matter how he attacked, he couldn't break out. "No!" he roared. In the next instant, the golden collar smashed into his body. This terrifying 8th-level Divine Lord existence's body directly exploded, turning into ashes. An 8th-level Divine Lord expert died just like that. Lu Ming and the others were stunned. In the next instant, they discovered that a figure had appeared above the starry sky at some point in time. This figure was also shrouded in layers of fog, completely unable to see the appearance. It seemed that these people who appeared today were all unwilling to show their true faces to others. However, this figure's figure was petite and seemed to be a woman. She gave a light cry and controlled the golden collar, smashing it toward the second 8th-level Divine Lord existence. Those two 8th-level Divine Lord black-robed people retreated wildly, not daring to resist at all. Because they already sensed that the person who appeared last was too terrifying, surpassing 8th-level Divine Lord. It was very likely a 9th-level Divine Lord existence. Divine Lord realm, the difference of one level was the difference between heaven and earth. It was instant kill. A 9th-level Divine Lord was not what they could contend with at all. They could only retreat. You all hold them back, I'll kill them. That figure who appeared at the back opened her mouth, the voice crisp. It was clearly a woman. Only at this time did Yuan Huan and those red-robed people react to it, charging toward the other party one after another, wanting to hold the other party back. Chapter 35:10. As for the woman, she controlled the Vajra ring to attack an 8th-level Divine Lord. The black-robed man frantically retreated, but the Vajra ring's speed was astonishing. It turned into a golden light and instantly caught up to him. The black-robed man roared and slashed out a sword light with all his strength. This sword was incomparably stunning. No matter what planet it would be destroyed by this sword. The starry sky was split open, and a pitch-black crack appeared. Clang. In the end, the sword slashed the Vajra ring. The sword light shook violently and then directly exploded. In the end, even the black-robed man's battle sword exploded. The Vajra ring didn't stop. It carried boundless power as it bombarded the black-robed man. The black-robed man didn't even have time to scream before he turned into ashes. In just a short while, two 8th-level Divine Lords were killed in succession. This scene was simply explosive. 8th-level Divine Lords were definitely peak experts in the Taishu dynasty. One had to know that some of the weaker heavenly kings were only 7th-level Divine Lords. These people were all existences on equal footing with heavenly kings. But now, they were being killed one after another. There was only one 8th-level Divine Lord left. This person was incomparably terrified. He frantically retreated, wanting to escape. However, Yuan Huan and the red-robed man pursued relentlessly. They constantly attacked and entangled this person, preventing him from activating the teleportation formation on his body to escape. At this time, the woman above controlled the Vajra ring and attacked. Who are you? I'm telling you, I'm His Majesty the Sacred Emperor's people. How dare you kill us? This is a great crime worthy of 9 familial extermination. Roared the black-robed man. Originally, he didn't want to reveal his identity because the higher-ups had instructed him not to. But now that his life was on the line, he couldn't care so much. He could only use the Taishu Sacred Emperor as a deterrent. Unfortunately, whether it was Yuan Huan, the red-robed man, or the woman above, they didn't hesitate at all. They didn't stop attacking. You're all treacherous. The final 8th-level Divine Lord only had time to let out an unwilling roar before he was struck by the Vajra ring and killed. At this point, the 3 8th-level Divine Lord black-robed men had all been killed. As for the remaining black-robed men, they were nearly scared to death. They frantically tried to escape, but Yuan Song, the Nether 8 battle race, and the red-robed men firmly held them back. At this time, Yuan Huan and the others charged over. You're all treacherous. The black-robed men frantically resisted, but the result was already decided. Not long after, all of the black-robed men were killed. Thank you all Divine Lord for your help. I know who sent you. You've been sent here, but I don't know who sent you. Divine Lord's Divine Lord. For the black-robed man, for the woman. No need, we just don't want those people to succeed. Of the Divine Lord, and the black-robed men's. Divine. The woman in the starry sky spoke. She was still shrouded in mist, and her appearance couldn't be seen clearly. After she finished speaking, her figure flashed, and she disappeared without a trace. Divine Emperor. Lu Ming clenched his fists. His eyes were cold. This time, it was obvious that the Divine Void Divine Lord had tricked him into coming here. He had set up an ambush to kill them. Moreover, the Divine Void Divine Lord's target seemed to be Blue Merchant. Could it be because of the Soul Mother? Suddenly, Lu Ming's heart stirred as he thought of this. Lu Ming, you should have guessed it. If I'm not wrong, the Divine Void Divine Lord wants to kill me and take the Soul Mother for himself. Blue Merchant looked at Lu Ming. His expression was ugly. He had also thought of this. Back at the Divine Void Divine Lord's birthday, I used my soul power to block the soul attack of the Wu people. Although I didn't use the Soul Mother, the Divine Void Divine Lord must have suspected that I had obtained a precious soul treasure. And now, he has a strong desire for all soul treasures. That's why he sent people to ambush us. Lan Shang continued to speak, and his speculations were not far from the mark. Those red-robed men and that woman seemed to be from two different factions. Who sent them? Why would they save us? Lu Ming frowned. He was still very puzzled. Those who know about the Divine Emperor's plan are most likely people by his side. Those red-robed men, if I'm not wrong, were sent by the Crown Prince. Blue Merchant said. The Crown Prince? This time, Lu Ming was really shocked. The Crown Prince sent them? The Crown Prince actually sent people to save them? Didn't the Crown Prince want to cut Lu Ming into pieces? Why would he send people to save them? This answer was really beyond Lu Ming's expectations. As if seeing Lu Ming's confusion, Blue Merchant said, if it was only the Divine Emperor who wanted to kill you, the Crown Prince would definitely clap his hands in joy. Why would he save you? But if there was some treasure that could extend the Divine Emperor's lifespan, the Crown Prince naturally wouldn't watch the Divine Emperor succeed. With Blue Merchant's explanation, Lu Ming understood. The Divine Emperor's lifespan was coming to an end. After the Divine Emperor died, the Crown Prince would succeed to the throne. If the Divine Emperor's lifespan was extended, how could the Crown Prince succeed to the throne? Therefore, compared to Lu Ming's life, the Divine Emperor's position was more important. That was why the Crown Prince sent people to sabotage and prevent the Divine Emperor from succeeding. In that case, who sent that woman? Lu Ming thought of that woman again. There weren't many 9th-level Divine Lords in the entire Taishu dynasty, right? I don't know. I can't see through her at all. Lan Shang shook his head and furrowed his brows. They discussed for a while but still couldn't figure out the woman's background. Then, they didn't stay any longer and left. After a period of time, they were far away from Dark Pine Galaxy before stopping. Lan Shu, the Taishu Divine Emperor didn't get the treasure on you this time. I'm afraid he won't let this matter rest. He'll definitely send people to deal with you again. Lu Ming frowned, his expression grave. He was very unhappy, very unhappy. He didn't get any news of his parents, and now, Blue Merchant was targeted by the Taishu Divine Emperor. This made him furious and frustrated. Lu Ming, calm down. Your parents should be fine. The other party wants to use your parents to threaten you, so won't they do anything to your parents? Therefore, at this time, he has to raise his strength. The stronger you are, the stronger the force you control, and the more weight you carry. The more weight you carry, the more the other party will value you, and the more value you will have to be used. Your parents will be safer. Blue Merchant said. Lu Ming took a deep breath and calmed himself down. As for me, it looks like I'll have to play dead. Blue Merchant continued. Play dead? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Playing dead was indeed a good idea. Chapter 35:11. But how should they carry it out? After that, Lu Ming and Blue Merchant discussed and came up with a plan. They could borrow Etion's power and lead the trouble to the barbarian tribe. They did it right away. They immediately went to Etion's place of contact and discussed with him to make a plan. Then, Lu Ming returned to the Hidden Dragon Star and led the Dark Ape fighting tribe to the battlefield of the barbarian tribe. Not long after, a piece of news spread rapidly in the Taishu dynasty. Lu Ming led people to fight the barbarian tribe and was ambushed by them. They suffered heavy casualties. Even Jing Yu's teacher, Blue Merchant, died in the battle and his body was taken away by the barbarian tribe. Moreover, the The recording of the Rest Shadow Stone was circulated. In an instant, it caused a huge commotion. After all, Blue Merchant was Jing Yu's teacher. He was extremely talented and was a top expert in the Taishu dynasty. Unfortunately, because of Jing Yu's case, his star core was destroyed and he died in the hands of the barbarian tribe. It was really a pity. This big show was naturally planned by Lu Ming and Yi Tian. Everything was fake, but they acted as if it was real. Taishu Dynasty, Imperial Palace Hall. Damn it! In the hall, there was a furious roar. The violent aura shrouded the entire imperial palace. Many guards were trembling with pale faces. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. In the hall, there were a few people standing below. They kept quiet out of fear and didn't dare to make a sound. Taishu Saint Emperor sat at the top. His face was distorted and full of ferocious murderous intent. Damn it. Damn Blue Merchant, damn Lu Ming, damn the barbarian tribe. The Great Void Saint Emperor continued to roar in anger. He didn't understand why things turned out this way. He had arranged everything flawlessly. He pretended to have found Lu Ming's parents and deceived Lu Ming and the rest to go over. Then he sent experts to ambush them. There were more than a dozen experts, all of whom were above the 6th Divine Lord Realm. There were even 3 8th Divine Lord Realm experts. However, they never returned. There was no news. It was as if they were swallowed by a giant beast. How was this possible? There were so many experts by Lu Ming's side. Moreover, now that the Blue Merchant had been killed by the barbarian tribe and his corpse had fallen into the hands of the barbarian tribe, wouldn't that mean that the soul treasure was also with the barbarian tribe? Therefore he was furious. This was related to his lifespan. He was unable to restrain his anger, and his killing intent was almost uncontrollable. After a long while, the Taishu Saint Emperor's aura finally calmed down. Men, send a message to the Berserker Emperor. Tell him that I'm willing to buy back the Blue Merchant's corpse at a high price. The Great Void Saint Emperor ordered. They naturally had a way to pass the news to the barbaric emperor. But after a period of time, the barbarian emperor replied with only 2 words, "No way." The barbarian tribe and the Taishu dynasty were mortal enemies. Not long ago, the two sides had fought a great battle at the Taishu Saint Emperor's birthday banquet. How could the barbaric emperor agree to the Great Void Saint Emperor's request? He did not even need to check or ask. As long as it was beneficial to the Great Void Saint Emperor, he would reject it. Barbarian Emperor, you're courting death. Men, give me the order to attack the barbarian tribe. I want to destroy the barbarian tribe. At the same time, mobilize the troops of all the heavenly kings and marquises' mansions and attack the barbarian tribe together. The Great Void Saint Emperor had gone mad. He wanted to launch an all-out attack on the barbarian tribe. Following the Taishu Saint Emperor's orders, the entire Taishu Holy Court was shaken. All the heavenly kings' manors and marquis manors sent out their experts to join the army. Together with the imperial army, they charged towards the barbarian tribe. Of course, the barbarian tribe was not weak either. They mobilized a huge army to fight the Taishu dynasty. A terrifying war had broken out. The Taishu dynasty and the barbarian tribe fought at the border. The war was endless, and a large number of experts fell every day. However, the Taishu dynasty was only slightly stronger than the barbarian tribe. How could it be easy to destroy the barbarian tribe? For a time, both sides were in a stalemate. Both sides had victories and losses, and the war was hard to determine. Lu Ming naturally led the Nether Ape fighting tribe to fight the barbarian tribe. Of course, he was just putting on an act. After a few battles, he brought his people back to the hidden dragon star and let the Nether Ape fighting tribe cultivate in peace. Just like that, 10 years passed in a flash. In these 10 years, the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian tribe were still at war. However, it was not as crazy as before. Both sides were in a stalemate, and sometimes there would be a big battle. At this time, Lu Ming received a piece of good news. It was sent to him by Yi Tian. He finally found the whereabouts of the mid-autumn moon. More than 100 years ago, someone found traces of the autumn moon in the north of the barbarian tribe. However, later on, for some unknown reason, The autumn moon seemed to have disappeared in the lost galaxy in the north of the barbarian tribe. Lost galaxy? Lu Ming's face was extremely solemn. Lu Ming had heard of the legend of the lost galaxy. It was said that the lost galaxy was in the north of the barbarian tribe. It was a very strange galaxy. No matter what cultivation you had, as long as you entered the lost galaxy, you could forget about coming out. Throughout history, countless powerful existences, including top experts above the 7th Divine Lord realm, had never returned. No one had ever come out. What happened? How did the mid-autumn moon enter the lost galaxy? Lu Ming was extremely anxious. Needless to say, the mid-autumn moon must have encountered some special circumstances. Otherwise, how could she enter the lost galaxy? No, I must go and find the mid-autumn moon. Lu Ming's face was filled with determination. No matter how terrifying the lost galaxy was, he had to make a trip. He could not leave the mid-autumn moon behind. Even if it was dangerous, he had to go. Moreover, he had to go immediately. The lost galaxy was strange and unpredictable. He did not know what dangers there would be. If he went later, the mid-autumn moon would be in greater danger. Immediately, he gathered Yuan Huan and Yuan Tsong and told them about this matter. Blue Merchant was naturally not here. Instead, he stayed with Etion for the time being. You want to go to the lost galaxy? That's too dangerous. For countless years, no one who went in has ever come out. Lu Ming, you have to think carefully, Yuan Huan advised. I know it's dangerous, but this time I have to go. After I leave, I'll leave this place to you. Don't worry, I'll definitely come out. Lu Ming said with incomparable determination. Yuan Huan and Yuan Tsong looked hesitant. However, they had been with Lu Ming for some time. They knew Lu Ming's character. Once he made up his mind, it was useless even if others tried to persuade him. Since the battle ancestor has a request, we'll go with you. We can take care of each other. Yuan Huan said. That's right. Let's go together. Yuan Tsong added. No, you have to stay here. If you go with me, who will be responsible for this place? Lu Ming rejected directly. Then I'll go with the battle ancestor. With the clan leader here, there must be someone with the battle ancestor. Otherwise, it'll be too dangerous. Yuan Tsong said. He had to go with Lu Ming. Chapter 35:12. In the end, Lu Ming decided to bring Ape Tsong to the Lost Galaxy while Ape Huan oversaw the Hidden Dragon Star. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming set off on the same day. Ape Tsong brought Lu Ming along at an astonishing speed, flying along the northern border of the barbarian race. Although they encountered the barbarian race along the way, with Ape Tsong leading the way, there were no obstacles at all. After a period of time, they finally arrived at the Lost Galaxy. Looking from afar, a galaxy was suspended in the universe, shining with silver-white starlight. It was incomparably dazzling. From the looks of it, it seemed to be slowly rotating. The galaxy was actually not like a river. Looking from outside the galaxy was circular and slowly rotating. It was incomparably mysterious. Let's go! Lu Ming whispered and flew toward the Lost Galaxy with Ape Kong. As they got closer and closer, Lu Ming and Ape Tsong finally flew into the range of the Lost Galaxy. When they flew into the range of the Lost Galaxy, a burst of dazzling light shone, so bright that the two could not open their eyes. After a few breaths, the dazzling light disappeared. Lu Ming and Ape Tsong looked around, and then their expressions changed. Originally, they had just entered the edge of the Lost Galaxy, but now when they looked back, there was a vast starry sky behind them. Lonely planets were suspended in the air, and they could not see the end of it. They could not see other galaxies at all. The two tried to fly backward, but after flying for hundreds of millions of miles, they still could not fly out of the Lost Galaxy. They were really lost. It seems that the Lost Galaxy has a terrifying field energy. Once a living creature enters, it will be lost and can't find the way out. Lu Ming frowned. Autumn Moon had been here for so many years. What had happened? Ape Tsong, let's go. Lu Ming said to Ape Tsong, then flew in the opposite direction. But after a while, Lu Ming stopped, and a puzzled look appeared on his face. Battle ancestor, what's wrong? Ape Song asked. I don't know why, but ever since I entered the Lost Star River, my blood seems to be flowing faster. The primordial god blood in my body seems to be slightly pulsating, as if it is responding to something. Yes, it's an inexplicable response. Lu Ming said. He really felt that way. Sense? Where is that feeling coming from? Yuan Song's eyes lit up as he asked. There. Lu Ming pointed in a direction. If I'm not wrong, there must be something in that direction that attracted the war ancestor. Maybe the war ancestor is lucky enough to find the autumn moon girl and the way out? Yuan Song said. Could it be mid-autumn moon? Let's go. After Lu Ming finished speaking, he quickly flew in that direction. The ape followed closely behind. In the Lost Star River, one would not be able to distinguish directions. Moreover, during the process of flying, the direction would constantly change. At first, Lu Ming felt that the feeling was in front of him, but after flying for a while, the feeling appeared on the right. Lu Ming flew to the right again, and after a while, it became behind him again. Sometimes it was right, sometimes it was left, sometimes it was in front, and sometimes it was behind him. It was constantly changing, incomparably strange, and difficult to grasp. If they did not have that feeling, they would be trapped here for the rest of their lives. Just like that, they flew for a full month. After flying for a month, Lu Ming felt that the feeling was getting stronger and stronger. It seemed that Lu Ming was getting closer and closer to the place where he felt the feeling. Who's there? At that moment, Yuan Song suddenly shouted. His eyes were like lightning as he scanned the surroundings. Lu Ming was shocked and he stopped in his tracks. He, I didn't expect someone to come in again. It's been a long time since a good meal was delivered. This time, I can eat to my heart's content again. A sneer was heard, and then the void spread. A huge python suddenly appeared, opened its bloody mouth, and stared at Lu Ming and Yuan Song eerily. A python had appeared in the Lost Star River. The python stuck out its tongue, sweeping Lu Ming's body back and forth, and said coldly, Young man, I like young people the most. The taste is fresh and tender. The last time a girl came in, the taste was really good. The python said coldly. Bang. At this moment, Lu Ming's head roared, as if it was about to explode. The last time a girl came in? Could it be the autumn moon? At this moment, Lu Ming emitted a terrifying killing intent. Yuan Song, kill him for me. No, cripple him first. Lu Ming roared. Bang. Lu Ming's voice had just faded when Yuan Song directly attacked. Grabbing with a large hand, a huge palm grabbed toward the python. 7th level Divine Lord, ah, damn it. The python roared in horror. Its huge body twisted, turning around to flee. He had 5th level Divine Lord cultivation, 2 levels lower than Yuan Kong. The moment he discovered Yuan Song's cultivation, he did not dare to stay at all. However, with a difference of 2 levels, how could he possibly escape? Yuan Song's large hand grabbed down, covering the firmament, enveloping the starry sky within a radius of tens of millions of miles. Then he grabbed the python. The python struggled fiercely, but when Yuan Song squeezed hard, the python cried out miserably. It was unknown how many bones in its body were broken. You really ate a young woman? Lu Ming asked with red eyes. No, I'm lying to you guys. I did see a young woman, but before I made a move, she ran away. I can swear on my life source that I really didn't eat her. Spare me. The python cried out miserably. Lu Ming immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Since the other party dared to swear on his life source, it was most likely true. The woman you mentioned, what did she look like? Lu Ming asked. Very beautiful, like a fairy. Immediately, the python described it again. It was really the autumn moon. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The moment the other party described, he knew that it was indeed the autumn moon. You're a 5th level Divine Lord, how could you let her run away? You'd better not lie to me. Lu Ming said coldly. It's true. I did want to make a move at that time, but there was an expert beside that girl. I didn't dare to make a move. The python said. An expert? Lu Ming frowned and asked again, then do you know where that woman went after that? I don't know. I really don't know what happened after that. Please spare me. I've been trapped in the Lost Star River for a year. It's so miserable. Take pity on me. The python cried out miserably. Tears actually flowed out of its eyes, looking miserable. Then you have no value. Yuan Song, kill it? Lu Ming said indifferently. No, wait, right, I remember now. Hearing that Lu Ming wanted to kill it, the python almost shrank in fear and screamed sharply. Speak. Lu Ming said coldly. They might have gone to the core area. Those who enter the Lost Star River will never be able to get out and will eventually go to the core area. The python hurriedly shouted and explained. Chapter 35:13. The Core Land. Lu Ming and Yuan Song were curious. That's right. The core is the core of the Lost Galaxy. It's a planet. You should be able to see that in the Lost Galaxy, there's no divine aura at all. Only the planet at the core has divine aura. Therefore, all the creatures on the Lost Galaxy will eventually go to the core. The girl you're looking for may have gone to the core land too. The python quickly explained and trembled in fear, afraid that Yuan Song would kill him. Are you trying to lie to me? It's difficult to distinguish directions in the Lost Galaxy. How can other creatures find the core land? Lu Ming's face was filled with murderous intent. I'm not lying. If you sense it carefully, you'll definitely sense that all the energy in the Lost Galaxy is converging towards one place. Although it's extremely faint, you can still sense it if you sense it carefully. As long as you follow the direction of the energy flow, you'll be able to find the planet at the core. The python screamed in horror and quickly explained. Immediately, Lu Ming and Yuan Song sensed it carefully. Indeed, not long after, they vaguely sensed that the energy between heaven and earth was indeed flowing slowly and converging in one direction. However, the range was too small. If they didn't sense it carefully, they wouldn't be able to sense it at all. Even if they sensed it, they wouldn't think that the energy was converging towards the core land. The flow of energy in space was very normal. You've sensed it, right? I'm telling the truth. If you want to go to the core land, I can take you with me. The python cried. All right, let's go together then. Lu Ming said. It was good to have an acquaintance by his side. Moreover, Lu Ming couldn't determine whether what the python said was true or false. Yuan Song immediately let go of the python. The python's body quickly shrank and turned into a skinny old man with a shifty-eyed look. My name is Python Fu. The python chuckled and introduced himself. Then he led Lu Ming and the others in a certain direction. Along the way, Lu Ming carefully sensed that they were indeed following the direction of the energy flow. To Lu Ming's surprise, the direction of the energy flow was actually the same as the direction he sensed. In other words, the feeling also came from the planet at the core land. Just like that, they kept flying. However, their speed wasn't very fast as they couldn't use their full strength. Therefore, in the blink of an eye, they flew for another month. We're here. Python Fu revealed a look of excitement as he looked ahead. In front of him, there was a huge planet suspended in the air. Even though he was far away, Lu Ming could still sense traces of divine aura emanating from it. Furthermore, that intense sensation had grown even stronger. Mid-autumn moon is here? Lu Ming revealed a hopeful expression. The three of them flew towards the planet. I'll bring you to a place. Go there and ask around. Perhaps you'll find some information. They landed on the planet and flew in a certain direction. Not long after, a vast expanse of mountains and rivers appeared before their eyes. Giant mountains rose from the ground, with palaces built on top of them. These palaces were extremely magnificent, and there was a statue in front of each palace. These statues were all mystical dragons. Furthermore, that feeling seemed to come from this mountain range. Now, my primordial divine body has been transformed into the primordial divine dragon body. There's even a drop of primordial divine blood in my body that's related to the primordial divine dragon body. Could it be related to the divine dragon body? Lu Ming's mind kept turning. At this moment, the corners of Python Fu's mouth curled up into a sneer as he suddenly retreated. Stay here. Yuan Song noticed Python Fu's retreat. He roared and clawed at him. But at this moment, a saber suddenly appeared in front of Python Fu. The saber slashed at Yuan Song's huge hand. There was an earth-shattering roar. The saber shook violently and retreated. Yuan Song's huge hand was also cut off by the saber. The next moment, a burly man appeared in front of Python Fu. He was holding a rusty saber. 7th level Divine Lord. Yuan Song's face turned solemn. Hee, there's a newcomer. This is going to be fun. Cold laughter sounded one after another. Figures appeared one after another in the surroundings. Lu Ming swept his gaze and discovered that there were more than a dozen people. Each of their aura was extremely powerful. They were at least 6th level Divine Lords. There were even quite a few who were probably above 6th level Divine Lords. Python Fu. Lu Ming stared at Python Fu with an ugly expression. Clearly they had been tricked by Python Fu. I didn't lie to you. This is indeed the Core Lands planet. Python Fu sneered. The two of you, surrender yourselves. Be our slaves for 10 million years and we'll let you go. 10 million years? That's too little. At least 100 million years. The surrounding people laughed and stared at Lu Ming and company like cats staring at mice. Then they closed in on Lu Ming. Battle Ancestor, leave quickly. I'll hold them back. Yuan Song roared. Then his body changed rapidly. He displayed the primordial divine body and turned into a giant ape. At the same time, he displayed the phantom battle art and raised his combat strength to the extreme. Bang! Yuan Song suddenly attacked. Both fists blasted out consecutively, blasting toward the burly man wielding the battle blade. It's the primordial divine body. This guy is tough. Several exclamations sounded in succession. That burly man wielding the battle blade roared and also raised his aura to the extreme. The battle blade slashed out continuously. Immediately, more than a dozen blade lights appeared, slashing toward Yuan Kong. More than a dozen violent rumbles sounded in succession. Force overflowed. Fist force and blade chi swept out in all directions. Following that, the blade lights vibrated. More than a dozen blade lights collapsed virtually at the same time. That burly man wielding the battle blade retreated repeatedly. Go! Yuan Song roared and rushed out of the encirclement together with Lu Ming. Want to leave? Stop right there for me. Don't think about leaving today. The others roared and chased after Lu Ming and company. Aura erupted. Lu Ming discovered in shock that there were at least 5 people whose cultivation reached 7th level Divine Lords. There were actually so many terrifying powerhouses in the Lost Galaxy. Go that way. Lu Ming roared. Leading Yuan Song, he rushed in the direction of the palace. The other party had too many experts. If they rushed outside, they definitely could not escape the other party's pursuit. He had a feeling that if they rushed toward the palace area, there might be a turning point. In an instant, they rushed into the mountains. At that moment, the people behind them suddenly stopped. They no longer dared to chase after them. They all revealed looks of fear. Not good. Lu Ming had a bad premonition in his heart. The other party did not dare to pursue. Could it be that this place was dangerous? Otherwise, why would the other party not dare to chase inside? Chapter 35:14. How dare you disturb my cultivation? You're courting death. At this moment, a cold voice came from a palace beside Lu Ming and the rest. Then, a huge palm reached out from the palace and grabbed at Lu Ming and Yuan Kong. The palm covered the sky and was incomparably huge. Moreover, there was an extremely powerful aura that completely locked onto Lu Ming and the rest. Be careful, combat ancestor. Yuan Song roared and stepped forward. He used all his strength and threw out more than 100 punches in an instant. More than 100 fist seals finally converged into a single fist seal and bombarded the palm. Boom! A terrifying explosion rang out as the palm violently trembled. In the end, with a bang, it exploded. However, the fist print that Yuan Song threw out also exploded at the same time. Yuan Song's body shook violently and he retreated continuously. Then, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. Yuan Song, are you all right? Lu Ming asked hurriedly. I'm fine. Yuan Song wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at the palace with an extremely solemn expression. 8th level Divine Lord. After exchanging a blow, he discovered that the existence in the palace was actually an 8th level Divine Lord. So you've cultivated the primordial divine body. Your combat strength is not bad. Looks like I'll have to take action personally. A cold voice came from the palace. As soon as the voice fell, Lu Ming only saw a phantom flash and a figure appeared outside the palace. It was a white-haired old man with a cold gaze. Senior, we're just passing by. We didn't mean to disturb you. Lu Ming cupped his fists. I don't care if you're passing by or not. If you disturb my cultivation, you'll die. The old man's eyes were cold and revealed a strong murderous intent. These guys are all twisted in their hearts. Lu Ming was speechless. He felt that the people here were extremely violent, unreasonable, and twisted in their hearts. They wanted to attack and kill at the slightest provocation. Lu Ming could understand. These people were famous powerhouses in the outside world. However, after entering the Lost Galaxy, they could not get out. They would be trapped here forever with no hope in sight. They could only wait for death here. Naturally, they would feel irritable and their hearts would be distorted. Swoosh. After the old man finished speaking, he threw out a palm and pressed down on Yuan Kong. The ape follower roared and did his best to resist. However, even if Yuan Song cultivated the primordial divine body and had the augmentation of the ghost battle art, his battle prowess was so strong that ordinary existences of the same level wouldn't be a match for him. However, the other party was an 8th level divine lord. No matter how strong Yuan Song was, he still wasn't a match for him. After barely managing to withstand a few blows, he was severely injured. Little guy, I won't kill you. I'll cripple you and let you linger on with your last breath. The old man then looked at Lu Ming. His other withered hand reached out to grab Lu Ming. Don't even think about it. Lu Ming roared. No matter how strong the other party was, he would not allow himself to be captured. He would resist to the end. At this moment, Lu Ming activated all of his strength. His primordial divine blood was also activated. His body rapidly expanded and turned into a huge divine dragon. His 9 claws stepped on the air, causing the void to tremble. What a powerful aura. A peak divine king actually has such a powerful aura. He's a divine dragon, a 9-clawed dragon. In this world, there's actually a 9-clawed dragon? No, it's not a 9-clawed dragon. It's the primordial divine body. This kid cultivated the primordial divine body. The people outside the mountain shouted in shock. In front of the palace, the old man was also shocked. Then, his eyes revealed a look of greed. Primordial divine dragon body. Haha, if I get this kid, I might be able to find a way out. The old man was ecstatic. His hand grabbed down even more firmly. Lu Ming roared and resisted frantically. But at this moment, there was a change. In front of the palace, there was a divine dragon statue. At this moment, the divine dragon statue suddenly moved. It let out a dragon roar and rushed into the sky. The dragon claws stepped on the air and slammed into the old man's large hand. Boom! There was a violent explosion. That hand was blocked. However, cracks appeared on the divine dragon statue. Lu Ming was stunned. He was a little confused. Why did the divine dragon statue move? It seemed to have some kind of resonance with the primordial divine blood in his body. The divine dragon statue here had a spirit. This kid can actually move the divine dragon statue. It might really be useful. The old man was shocked at first. Then he was ecstatic. His aura erupted and he grabbed at Lu Ming again. The divine dragon statue continued to roar and pounced on the old man. There was another explosion. The old man's hand was blocked, but there were more cracks on the divine dragon statue. What should I do? If this goes on, I won't be able to block more than a few moves. Oh right, there are divine dragon statues in front of the other palaces. If I can mobilize them, I can definitely suppress this old man. Lu Ming's mind raced. He thought of the statues in front of the other palaces. There was a palace on every mountain in this mountain. In front of each palace, there was a divine dragon statue. There were dozens of palaces in total. Lu Ming was thinking of how to mobilize those divine dragon statues. Suddenly, boom, boom, boom. Powerful auras erupted from those palaces one after another. These auras were incomparably terrifying. They soared into the sky like smoke signals. Following that, figures flashed. A figure actually rushed out from each palace. The aura of each figure was incomparably shocking. The weakest one was not weaker than the old man from before. All of them were existences above the 8th level Divine Lord realm. There were a total of more than 30 people. Lu Ming was stunned. Yuan Song was also stunned. They were too shocked. Their hearts were in turmoil and they could not calm down. There were actually so many powerhouses here. How was this possible? More than 30 existences above the 8th level Divine Lord realm. Even if all the powerhouses in the entire Taishu dynasty were added up, there would not be too many. Where did these people come from? Lu Ming dared to bet that these powerhouses were definitely not from the Taishu dynasty, the barbarian race, or the Tianyi sacred dynasty. This was because a Divine Lord realm expert could only live for 10 stellar years at most. In other words, these people had entered the Lost Galaxy within these 10 stellar years. If so many powerhouses from the Taishu dynasty, the barbarian race, and the Tianyi sacred dynasty had entered within these 10 stellar years, it would have caused a huge commotion. Such powerhouses were all famous big shots. It was difficult not to cause a commotion when they went missing. Therefore, these people were definitely not from the Taishu dynasty, the barbarian race, or the Tianyi sacred dynasty. It was very likely that they were from a more distant force. Then, Lu Ming and Yuan Song's heart sank. So many powerhouses had appeared all of a sudden. How could they fight against them? The difference was too great. Primitive divine dragon body. What an amazing primitive divine dragon body. This kid, could it be that he has already condensed the primitive divine blood? The Lost Galaxy was a secret place of the divine dragon clan. With this kid, maybe we can get out. These people stared at Lu Ming. Their eyes lit up, revealing a fiery light. Chapter 35:15. I was the one who discovered this kid first. The old man who started yelled and stared at the others. So what if you discovered him? I want this kid. Another old woman said coldly. Her aura was oppressive and incomparably terrifying, even stronger than the old man from before. 9th level Divine Lord. Lu Ming revealed a look of shock. This old woman was definitely a 9th level Divine Lord existence. In the Taishu dynasty, Lu Ming had felt the aura of a 9th level Divine Lord powerhouse before. The two were similar. You want him? Why should you want him? I even said that I want him. A deep voice sounded. A burly man sneered, not afraid of the old woman at all. Obviously, he was also a figure of the same level. Lu Ming felt a headache. This time, it was really mysterious. He really walked into a dragon's den. What should I do now? Do I have to take out the purple copper coffin again? That's a way to perish together. Lu Ming's mind turned quickly. He was unwilling to give up. He had not found the autumn moon yet. Oh right, the divine dragon statues, and that feeling came from these mountains. After coming here, the feeling of these mountains became stronger. It's as if there are divine dragons residing in these mountains. Thinking of this, Lu Ming's heart stirred. If he could mobilize all the divine dragon statues, he might be able to fight. Immediately, Lu Ming desperately urged the blood in his body, wanting to mobilize those statues, but there was no response. Could it be that the distance is too far? What should I do? Oh right, primordial divine dragon horn, give it a try. Lu Ming thought of the primordial divine dragon horn. With a thought, the primordial divine dragon horn appeared. At this time, the surrounding powerhouses were confronting each other. The atmosphere was getting more and more tense. I think we should take down this kid together and study him. If we can find a way to get out, we can all go out together. Someone suggested. All right, let's do that. Then let's do it. These people reached a consensus and planned to take down Lu Ming first to study him together. As for whether Lu Ming agreed or not, they could not be bothered. Why would they care if a mere divine king agreed or not? Many pairs of eyes stared at Lu Ming at the same time. Let's do it. Lu Ming grabbed the primordial divine dragon horn and blew into it. Woo woo woo. Following this, the sound of an ancient horn could be heard. It was as if it had traveled through endless time and space. In an instant, it spread throughout the entire area. Roar, roar, roar. In the next moment, a series of dragon roars echoed in the sky. The divine dragon statues in front of the palace roared toward the sky and moved. Dozens of divine dragon statues flew toward Lu Ming. What happened? Those experts were shocked and subconsciously stepped aside. Then, those mystical dragon statues all appeared around Lu Ming, protecting Lu Ming in the middle. It really works. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had not expected the immemorial divine dragon horn to have such an effect. It could even command the divine dragon statue. Could this be the true usage of the ancient divine dragon horn? It seemed like he had been blind in the past to use the primordial divine dragon horn as a weapon. It was a complete waste. The surrounding experts were stunned for a moment. Then their eyes lit up. This kid can actually control the divine dragon statue. All the more we have to take him down for research. That's right. Perhaps we can really find a way out. Those experts whispered. Then they made their move. The void trembled and exploded. Terrifying attacks pressed towards Lu Ming. Of course, they were pressing towards those divine dragon statues. They did not want to kill Lu Ming just like that. How would they research after killing Lu Ming? Roar, roar, roar. All the divine dragon statues roared. Their bodies emitted a resplendent radiance as they soared into the sky. Dragon claws tore through the air and clawed at those attacks. This space shook violently and a huge explosion occurred. It was completely annihilated. However, those surrounding experts, some of them were really strong. Their cultivation reached 9th level divine lord, their strength heaven-shocking. Some divine dragon statues could not withstand it at all. A series of cracks directly appeared on their bodies, then they exploded. In an instant, more than a dozen statues exploded. If this continued, these divine dragon statues would definitely not be able to block these experts. Continue. Lu Ming circulated his divine power crazily. Then he blew the primordial divine dragon bugle. He felt that there was a force in every mountain peak. The reason why Lu Ming sensed it previously was because of this force in the mountain peak. If he could summon it, he could reverse the current situation. Woo 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 woo. The ancient bugle sounded, becoming more and more intense. Finally, it broke through the clouds. Those divine dragon statues roared and charged towards these experts like they had gone mad. At the same time, there was a strange change in the mountains and rivers. Every mountain and river suddenly emitted a resplendent radiance. Following that, a dragon's roar sounded, penetrating gold and cracking stone. The next moment, a divine dragon suddenly rushed out of the mountain peak closest to Lu Ming. This divine dragon was pitch black all over. There were 6 dragon claws on its abdomen. This was a 6-clawed divine dragon. At the scene, everyone was stunned. A 6-clawed divine dragon actually appeared in the mountain peak? What was going on? They had stayed here for so many years and actually did not discover it? No, wait, this isn't a real divine dragon. It's not a body of flesh and blood, but a soul body. This is a dragon soul. Someone cried out in surprise. That's right, this was indeed a dragon soul. Lu Ming had long seen through it. He did not expect that inside this mountain peak, there was actually a dragon soul that was summoned by his primordial divine dragon bugle. The dragon soul let out a long roar, its gaze like lightning, emitting a vast dragon pressure. Then, it pounced over toward an old man. This old man was that old man who made a move against Lu Ming at the very beginning. An enormous dragon claw directly grabbed down toward this old man. The old man was startled and blasted a palm out with all his might. A terrifying palm print pressed over toward the dragon soul. Bang! An intense rumble. That old man's body retreated explosively, his complexion turning pale. Asai. At the scene, many people sucked in a cold breath. This old man was a genuine 8th level divine lord. And this dragon soul actually repelled the old man with one move. This kind of strength was also too terrifying. The crux was that this was just a dragon soul. After a divine dragon died, the undying battle soul left behind did not have intelligence. Furthermore, no idea how long had passed. Such a long time had passed, a dragon soul actually still had such powerful combat strength. This was inconceivable. What kind of strength should this dragon soul have when it was alive? It absolutely surpassed the Divine Lord realm. Otherwise, it was absolutely impossible for just a dragon soul to be so strong. Many people's eyes revealed looks of astonishment. Legend has it that this place is a secret base of the Divine Dragon clan. There's a Divine Dragon branch residing here. Sure enough, it's right. Someone whispered, very shocked. Woo woo woo. The ancient bugle horn sound continued to sound out. Following that, astonishing dragon roars came from several more mountain peaks. Chapter 35:16. Several more mountain peaks emitted resplendent light. Dragon roars rang out, and then several huge black divine dragons charged out of the mountain peaks. These divine dragons were also dragon souls. They were pitch black and had 6 dragon claws on their abdomens. They were all 6-clawed divine dragons. Several dragon souls appeared and directly pounced at Lu Ming. Not good. Quickly stop him. Some of the surrounding powerhouses roared. Their divine power soared to the sky, forming several terrifying attacks that pressed down on Lu Ming. But dragon roars rang out. Those divine dragon statues and the dragon soul that appeared first did their best to block these people's attacks. And the dragon souls that appeared later had already arrived. Their dragon claws were incomparably sharp. They directly tore through space and grabbed at those experts. Terrifying rumbles rang out. This region was constantly exploding, setting off destructive storms. However, this planet was very strange. The ground was incomparably hard, and the mountains and rivers were even more so. When the terrifying destructive force landed on the ground, although the ground and rocks were constantly exploding, the explosions only left small craters. It had to be known that those experts that appeared later were at least 8th-level divine lords. Just how terrifying was this battle? If it were outside, it would have long destroyed this planet. It could be seen that this region was very extraordinary. Wu Wu Lu Ming constantly blew the primordial divine dragon horn. To be honest, blowing the horn consumed a lot of divine power. The divine power stored in his star core had already been exhausted. But there was an endless stream of divine power coming out of the quantum character art, allowing Lu Ming's divine power to always be abundant. As the primordial divine dragon horn rang out, many mountain peaks were filled with radiance. Dragon roars rang out incessantly. Pitch-black dragon souls appeared one after another. Each of these dragon souls was a 6-clawed divine dragon. Furthermore, they were all extremely powerful. They were just dragon souls, but they could actually suppress 8th-level divine lords. Some dragon souls were even stronger and could actually suppress 9th-level divine lords. In just a moment, at least 20 dragon souls appeared. With so many souls unleashing a torrential barrage of attacks on those experts were actually forced into a disadvantageous position. Outside the mountains, the faces of Python Fu and the others were pale. Cold sweat dripped down their foreheads. They were truly stunned by this scene. Lu Ming was actually able to summon a dragon soul. Fortunately, Lu Ming's target was not them. Otherwise, they would already be dead. Brat, shut up, shut up. An old woman roared. Her strength was very astonishing, being a 9th-level divine lord. She rushed towards Lu Ming, wanting to take down Lu Ming. However, a huge dragon claw reached out to grab her. The two of them exchanged blows, and the old woman retreated quickly. Then, the divine dragon swung its tail at her. Bang! The old woman screamed and retreated quickly, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Roar, roar, roar. Dragon roars continued to resound from the remaining 10 or so mountain peaks. Then, dragon souls rushed out one after another. There were a total of 36 mountains, and each mountain had a dragon soul rushing out. 36 dragon souls and the remaining divine dragon statues were enough to completely crush those experts. With a scream, an 8th level divine lord was forcefully torn apart by a dragon soul and died on the spot. The remaining people were afraid. They desperately charged, wanting to escape from this place. However, the dragon souls surrounded them, blocking this area. "Old bear, why aren't you making a move? We're all going to die." Suddenly, someone roared. Boom! In the next moment, a terrifying aura came from the depths of the mountains. The moment this aura appeared, heaven and earth became heavy and incomparably oppressive. Then, a loud roar came out. A huge bear appeared in the depths of the mountains. Yes, a huge bear that was tens of thousands of meters tall. Its entire body was covered in pitch-black fur, like a mountain. Its speed was very fast. With a step, it appeared nearby. A huge bear paw slapped toward a dragon soul. Boom! That dragon soul was directly sent flying, crashing into a mountain. The mountain shook, and gravel flew everywhere. Lu Ming saw that the dragon soul's dragon claw shattered, as if it had disappeared into thin air. What terrifying strength! This is a quasi-emperor. Lu Ming's pupils suddenly constricted in incomparable shock. This black bear was actually a quasi-emperor existence. Lu Ming had seen the battle between the Great Void Saint Emperor and the Barbaric Emperor. Both sides' auras were about the same, both earth-shattering. There was actually a quasi-emperor residing here. It was really terrifying. A quasi-emperor was much stronger than a 9th-level divine lord. You can actually summon dragon souls? Interesting. The giant bear opened its mouth, its voice rumbling. It stepped forward, pressing toward Lu Ming. However, a few dragon souls pounced toward the giant bear. Although the dragon souls are strong, they're only equivalent to a divine lord. They're not my match. The giant bear shouted coldly. Its paws slapped out continuously. With each slap, a dragon soul was sent flying. No dragon soul could stop the giant bear. It kept approaching Lu Ming. Woo-woo Lu Ming blew continuously. Those dragon souls moved according to Lu Ming's will, gathering together and rushing toward the giant bear. With so many dragon souls attacking continuously, the power was also very astonishing. The giant bear was blocked for a moment too. "What are you all still in a daze for? Attack together!" The giant bear roared loudly at the others. The others were akin to waking up from a dream. Just now, when they saw the giant bear appear, they even thought that the giant bear could handle it alone. They were just about to take action and take down Lu Ming. But right at this time, a dragon roar suddenly came from this stretch of mountains and rivers. This dragon roar was exceptionally terrifying, shaking until the entire universe started trembling, completely suppressing the other dragon roars. Outside the mountains and rivers, Mang Fu and the rest of the 6th-level Divine Lord Existence's bodies trembled greatly like they were electrocuted, then spewed out a mouthful of blood. 6th-level Divine Lords were directly injured by a dragon roar. 7th-level Divine Lords were still a little better, but their complexions were also pale. Only 8th-level Divine Lords and 9th-level Divine Lords were unaffected. But their expressions also changed drastically, looking in the direction where the dragon roar came from one after another. That was because this dragon roar gave them a lot of pressure. That terrifying dragon roar continued to emit. The next instant, this stretch of mountains and rivers was shining. Following that, a dragon claw reached out from the mountains and rivers. This dragon claw was pitch black. The dragon scales on it were all clearly visible. But one could still tell that this was not a body of flesh and blood, but a dragon soul. When this dragon claw reached out, it directly clawed over toward the giant bear. The giant bear's expression changed drastically, its huge eyes revealing a hint of astonishment. With a roar, its body became even bigger. A pair of bear paws smacked out continuously, colliding together with the dragon claw. But the next instant, with two cracking sounds, the giant bear's bear paws directly broke apart. Chapter 35:17. The Quasi-Emperor Realm giant bear's palms were broken when it tried to block the dragon claw. It was bent 180 degrees and blood was gushing out of it. The giant bear's body was like a giant meteorite as it crashed to the ground. Boom! Gravel flew everywhere and a giant pit was formed on the ground. The giant bear coughed out blood. Everyone was stunned and their eyes widened. They could not believe what they had just seen. The giant bear was an invincible quasi-emperor realm existence. How could it be injured so easily? The opponent was only a dragon claw. What kind of existence was that? A divine emperor? It was definitely a real divine emperor. Otherwise, it would not be so strong. There was a dragon soul that had reached the divine emperor realm. It was terrifying. Boom! That dragon claw once again clawed at the giant bear. The attack was incomparably fierce. The giant bear roared and erupted with all its strength, pushing its strength to the limit. The giant bear was a quasi-emperor realm expert. It was definitely strong in all aspects. Its divine origin force had already awakened 4 times and it had also mastered the secret technique of the origin force. However, it was useless. The giant bear let out a miserable shriek when the dragon claw clawed at it. All of its attacks and defenses collapsed and it crashed to the ground again. This time, half of its body exploded. It was seriously injured and on the verge of death. The dragon roared and the dragon claw continued to claw at the giant bear. Surrender! I am willing to surrender. Please spare my life. The giant bear let out a miserable shriek. It was a quasi-emperor realm expert. Even if it was trapped here, it did not want to die. Once a quasi-emperor realm expert took the last step, he would be able to enter the divine emperor realm. Perhaps he would be able to get out of here after entering the divine emperor realm. Suddenly, the sound of the horn changed. The dragon claw stopped abruptly above the giant bear's head. Otherwise, the giant bear would have exploded. The giant bear heaved a sigh of relief. It almost peed in its pants. What about you guys? Lu Ming looked at the rest of the people. Those people's facial expression changed drastically. I am willing to surrender. I am also willing to surrender. The other experts also cried out one after another. What a joke! That dragon claw was too terrifying. There were other dragon souls as well. If they did not surrender, they would all die. Swear. Swear that you will surrender and not attack us. Lu Ming said coldly. The reason why he didn't continue to let the dragon soul kill these people was because he wanted to get information about Autumn Moon from these people. Secondly, the strength of these people was extremely shocking. If he could get out later, he would be able to borrow the strength of these people. The chances of him overturning Jing Yu's case would be much higher. That was why he spared the other party's life. I swear on my life essence that I will never attack you again. The giant bear was the first to cry out. I swear as well. Following that, the others also swore that they would never lay a hand on Lu Ming and the others. In the end, Lu Ming looked outside the mountains. Python Fu's face turned pale and his body went soft. He actually knelt down and cried out, Young master, please spare me. This lowly one had eyes but failed to see. Young master, please spare me. Python Fu was almost scared to death. Lu Ming's miraculous abilities were far beyond his imagination. He had already been trapped in this place for over a star year. He didn't even know that the dragon statues here could move, and that each of these mountains could summon a dragon soul that was shockingly strong. Now, in his eyes, Lu Ming was simply a primordial dragon that had come back to life. This time I'll spare your lives. Lu Ming said coldly. Many thanks, young master. Python Fu was overjoyed and repeatedly kowtowed. The other 7th level and 6th level divine sovereigns also expressed their thanks. At this moment, with a thought, Lu Ming put away the primordial divine dragon horn. Once he put away the primordial divine dragon horn, the giant dragon claw also retracted. The other dragon souls also flew towards those mountains, rushed into those mountains, and disappeared. Only then did all the experts present let out a long sigh of relief. Their gazes toward Lu Ming were filled with dread. Young master, how should I address you? A round-faced old man who looked rather amiable flew over and said with a smile. Lu Ming. Lu Ming replied. So it's young Master Lu. This old man is Zhu Tai. Zhu Tai cupped his fists and continued, May I know how young Master Lu came to the Lost Star River? Are you also looking for the Divine Dragon Race's treasure? The Divine Dragon Race's treasure? Lu Ming was flabbergasted. He then shook his head, saying, "No, I'm here to find someone. Has anyone seen this girl before?" After saying that, Lu Ming took out a portrait from his interspatial ring. The portrait was of the mid-autumn moon. "It's her." When Lu Ming opened the portrait, almost everyone was taken aback and exclaimed one after another. "You've all seen her before?" Lu Ming was overjoyed. Looking at these people's expressions, he knew that they had definitely seen the mid-autumn moon. "Yes, I've seen her before. Over 100 years ago, this girl came here." Everyone spoke. "Then where is she now?" Lu Ming asked joyfully. "She left. She left over 100 years ago." Everyone spoke. "What do you mean she left? Are you kidding me?" Lu Ming was shocked, then his face turned gloomy. Once one entered the Lost Star River, they couldn't leave. There were so many powerful existences here, but none of them left. How could the mid-autumn moon leave? "It's true, we're not lying to you." At this moment, the giant bear walked over. He recovered for a while, and the half of his body that was broken had recovered, but his aura was still weak. "That girl went to an ancient passage and left this place," the giant bear said. "If the ancient passage left this place, then why didn't you leave?" Lu Ming said coldly, still in disbelief. "Young Master Lu, what we said is true. If you want to explain, you can only start from the origin of the Lost Star River," the giant bear said. Lu Ming did not say anything and listened quietly. "It is said that this Lost Star River is a base of the Divine Dragon Clan. It's a branch of the Divine Dragon Clan, the place where the six-clawed black dragon lived. However, later on, some top clans joined forces to attack the Divine Dragon Clan. The six-clawed black dragon clan went to the mother planet of the Divine Dragon Clan to rescue them. I believe young Master Lu already knows what happened after that. The Divine Dragon Clan was almost wiped out, and the six-clawed black dragon clan never returned. Even the powerful existences followed the tracks and killed all the six-clawed black dragons here. However, there are legends that the powerful existences didn't fancy the treasures of the six-clawed black dragon clan and left them behind. Therefore, many people crossed the Endless Star River to come here to search for treasures, but ended up being trapped here. However, this place has an ancient passage in the starry sky, a teleportation formation that can lead to the outside world. However, it was sealed, and we couldn't open it no matter how hard we tried. Until more than 100 years ago, the girl you mentioned actually opened the teleportation formation and left this place. The giant bear explained in detail. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.